You are now listening to CTR Media Network.
What up, family? CTR Media Network. Yeah. Best in the biz. Yeah. Join the team. CTR is who we are, the media network, that's the best by far. Whether you listen at your home, at your job, in your car, come get the information that's needed above all, never lasting. Motivational podcasting, giving you the answers to the questions that you're asking. Serious talks and topics, how to come up and profit, how to better yourself, your health, and see if we
The podcast on CTR Media Network.
That's me. I'm so happy to be here. Thanks to her, my podcast is doing great.
350 million, they tuning in. We in 50 different countries, we all can. And like-minded, find your purpose and your assignment. Come get your fix, your feel, your mental alignment. Get active and speak to the masses. Build your influence, all levels and all classes. Now you know you can monetize and grow. CTR Media Network, start the show. CTR Media Network. CTR Media Network. CTR Media Network. CTR Media Network. CTR is who we are, the media network. That's the best by far, you know. CTR Media Network. CTR Media Network.
CTR Media Network is now accepting new podcasters to join our growing network that's reaching 350 million global listeners. Have you heard? CTR Media Network offers podcast production, podcast training, distribution, and product placement. Book us for your next event or schedule an interview with CTR Media Network podcasters today. To learn more, go to ctrmedianetwork.com.
Well, hello, everybody. How are you doing today? All right, I am going to talk with you a little bit about podcasting because podcasts have been on people's minds. Many of you want to start a podcast. Many of you want to be on podcast shows. And the question is, should you really do it? So today we're going to talk about the 5 key reasons why you shouldn't start a podcast. And many of you are probably trying to figure out, why am I doing this? Because I am the podcast queen. Listen, we need to have this conversation, people. So let me make sure that the audio is on so that everyone who's seeing the replay will be able to hear it, because tech is good, but sometimes tech act a little funny. So let me see. Tech is good, but sometimes. Okay, we are on. Okay, let's talk about the 5 reasons. The 5 reasons why, the 5 key reasons why you should not start a podcast. Okay. Number 1, and this is only for a person or people or organization who, I would say this is for a person who, I'm trying to be careful on the way that I say it. The type of person, this is describing the type of person that should not start a podcast, okay? So, like I said, many of you thinking about starting a podcast, you want to start a podcast, and we see all of your emails, and we are so happy that you want to be a part of CTR Media family, and you are, we'll be getting in contact with you soon so we can just put your stuff out. But this is the type of person, if you are a person that lack being authentic and you lack having passion for whatever it is that you do, you shouldn't start no podcast. because people don't like fake people. Okay. You know, we want the real. We want you to be authentic. We want you to be true to oneself. We know that everything don't go right all the time. So sharing your authentic, pure journey, sharing some of many people are going to share the highs, but what about the moments when it's not as good? So sharing some of those so that people can get to know you. Because remember, when you start a podcast is a form of information. It's a form of personal gain for you as the podcast host, as well as your audience. What is your audience is going to receive from taking the time to watch or listen to your podcast. And so you want to make sure that is one key thing of how you build a loyal audience. And so if you are not authentic, if you are not passionate about what you're doing, when the ups and downs of podcasting come, which they will come, you will be able to last and you'll be able to be supported by your podcast audience. So if you lack being authentic, you lack being a person of passion, and then you're not a person that needs to start a podcast. Okay, so the next thing is number two. Number two, this is the 5 reasons why you should not start a podcast. For those of you who are just tuning in, make sure to comment and let me know where you're tuning in from so I can give you guys a shout out if you want me to give you a shout out live while I'm live. So number 2 is if you are a person who is absent of a positive impact and you are not dedicated to keep your podcast going. So we have so many people that start podcast shows and then you build an audience and then you just stop podcasting. No communication. People look for you for sound advice. They look for you for encouragement. And then all of a sudden you just stop. We call it podcast fade. It happens. But if it does happen, you need to communicate that to your audience because there are millions of podcast shows out there. And these people, the ones that's watching your show, decided to give you some of their precious time, their mind, their support. So you owe it to them. We owe it to them to let them know what's going on. So if you are a person that lack the absence of a positive impact, because I'm all about making a positive impact, if it's all about you, then guess what? Nobody don't want to hear that. It needs to be something that is transformative, something that is making a positive impact. If you have a story, a compelling story about your life or what you had to go through or what you're currently going through, that is something that you can do for a podcast. But if it's lack making a positive impact, then you don't need no podcast. And if you lack the drive to be consistent with your podcast, you don't need a podcast. You might be better suited just to go on podcast interviews because that you have to make a meaningful impact in people's lives. So number 3, a type of person that should not start a podcast. Okay. If you lack the ineffectiveness in building a digital imprint. So what is a digital imprint? Everything that we're doing on social media from Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn. If you're posting something on social media, you're writing, you're posting up videos, you're a content creator, you are creating for yourself. I like to call it a digital imprint, a digital resume, perhaps in the world of the media, up under the media umbrella. You are building your credibility and influence, right? So podcasting is just another medium for you to be able to have it organized, being able to create an audience for you and for whatever it is that you do and for the audience that you're creating. Yes, hello, Facebook user. You say transformative energy. The next time you comment, put your name on the comment so that I can see who you are, because apparently you are in one of our private groups. And so you need to do that as well. And so podcasting, you need to understand it is a digital asset. It's like real estate. I don't really think many of you realize what a podcast is. It not only is creating a digital imprint, is creating a time capsule of history, of your history, of what you're contributing to the world, of the people who you're here to help. And so if you're a person that is ineffective in building a digital imprint and you're all about yourself, you're not thinking about anything. We know we in business, but if your main source of why you do, or your main motivation of why you do what you do is only because you want to make money, then honey, this is not what you need to do. Is because for the most of us, when we start podcasting, you're doing it for free. You're letting people come on your show for free. You're doing advertising. You're doing all these different things to build up your credibility and influence. And it takes sweat equity. You're taking your time. You're funding your for ones who don't have grants. You're funding this podcast adventure. You're buying lights. You're buying mics. You're buying all of this stuff, cameras, right? Until you build up your credibility, right? And so, hello, we have Carol in the building. We have another Facebook user. Hello. We have Lakeisha. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And we have another Facebook user that says great information. Thank you for tuning in, loves. Okay. And so if you're ineffective in doing that and you're not going to be consistent and you don't have any value, you don't have a clear purpose of the reason why you're doing this podcasting, then you don't need to do it. You don't need to do it. And the cool thing about podcasting is if you don't have a completely clear concept of your podcast, but you have the passion and love that you want to be able to inspire and help people to reach the level that you reach or beyond based upon your track record of success. And success can mean different things. It's not always attached to a money value. It can be attached to your experience, the way that you was able to navigate through a certain situation that another group of people need to navigate through, like depression, mental illness, homeschooling, business, communications, relationships, food, fitness, weight loss journey. It's so many different things. Being a vending machine operator, being a truck driver, all of these things are things in which you can use to create your podcast around that it comes innate to you, what you do, right? How you can bring yourself on your platform to be able to help other people. But you need to be effective in doing it. And you need to make sure that you identify that and create that positive impact. So let me check here on IG right quick to see, do we have other people on there? Because we can't post up the comments on IG. So, okay. All right. And so the fourth reason why you should not start a podcast. Why would the podcast queen talk about reasons why you shouldn't start one? Shouldn't I be talking about the reason why you should start a podcast? No, today we're going to talk about the type of person and the reasons why you shouldn't start a podcast. Okay. If you're a person that doing all this stuff, and we're going to do a recap. So number 4 is, if you want to miss opportunities, to not only create a platform for other people to be able to come on, to create a platform for people to be able to come to learn about you, what you do, and also be able to learn about why you're passionate about whatever it is that you're doing, who you are helping. If you don't want to do any of that, and you want to miss a variety of different opportunities that podcasting bring to you, then starting a podcast is not for you then. That's why you shouldn't start one. Because if you're in the business of missing opportunities, missing blessings, then you don't need to start a podcast. Because podcasting opened up many doors. Many doors. It opened up opportunities to do books, magazines, interviews, TV shows. I'm just speaking for myself. It opened up for me to do TV shows. It's opened up opportunities for me to do books and magazines and create my own show. I eventually created my own network. It opened up speaking opportunities. It opened up me brand ambassador deals. It opened up me in being able to be an influencer for Amazon. It opened up a plethora of things from being a consistent, effective podcaster. It literally changed my life, that I went from doing this part-time to doing it full-time, and it is my career. Who would have thought you could make a podcasting your career, the way that it take care of everything you take care of, mortgage, vehicle, all the things that you use for a traditional job that you go and work. Well, podcasting can be that stream or streams of income. And if you're a person who don't want to amplify your voice, you don't want to reach millions of households from the comfort of your home, you don't want to be able to network on a higher level, you don't want to be able to attract more people to what it is that you do, then if you don't want to do any of that, then a podcast not for you. If you don't, it's not okay. And so the fifth reason why you should not start a podcast, if you are this type of person, if you are in the business of having a limited potential for yourself, and you do not want any more income in your life, then you should not start a podcast. So if you are in the business of blocking your own blessings, afraid to get started, and allow that fear to stop you from getting started, because it is a such thing as workable fear. I do it all the time. Some things scare me half to death on going to the next level on certain stuff, but I do it scared. But if you're the person who gets scared and then stop moving, then starting a podcast is not for you. You have to be passionate. It has to be purposeful. You have to have the desire that if no one is listening to your podcast, you're still going to show up every single day. Understanding that you have to start from the ground up and work yourself up. Understanding that your people, your audience will find you by you producing quality content that's impactful. They will find you. So if you find yourself in any of these categories that I just spoke about, let's go over them again. Any of these categories, if you find yourself being this type of person, then starting a podcast is not for you. Okay, it's not for you. So if you are a person, I'm gonna recap. If you're a person that want to know whether or not you should start a podcast or not, if this person resonates with you, if you're a person that lacks being authentic, being true to oneself, and you have no passion, zero passion, then starting a podcast is not for you. If you're a person that is absent of making a positive impact, it's all about you all the time, you don't want to make no positive impact, then guess what? Starting a podcast is not for you. If you are a person that is ineffective in building a digital imprint, which means that you have trouble showing up, being consistent, or communicating with people or your audience in the absence of you not showing up, but letting them know what's going on, then starting a podcast is not for you. If you're a person that feel like you don't want to answer to anyone, because guess what? When we have these audiences, in a way, we do have to answer to our audience. You know why and how? By explaining to them what's going on. If, say, for example, you go live every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. EST, and it's not during your hiatus time when you're taking a season break or taking a break, you need to communicate. We'll be coming back doing the interviews at such. You need to communicate. Okay. And have them follow all your social media so they will be able to stay in the know. So if you're ineffective in building a digital imprint, then start a podcast, not for you. If you like to miss opportunities and you don't want to provide a safe haven, a platform for other people to be able to come and share and learn from you, and also the people that you bring on your show, if you decide to be a guest-oriented show, excuse me, but if it's a solo show, then they learning from you. So if you are a person that you are in the business of, you develop the person now that you just want to just miss opportunities. You are just a consumer of information and you are not a producer of information. Just starting a podcast is not for you. And the big one, and number 5 is if you are a person that like to limit your full potential and you want to be stagnant in the amount of income that you make, then starting a podcast is not for you. Because if you want to start a podcast, everything that I just mentioned is opportunities for you to be able to grow, build, scale up, whatever it is that you're currently doing through the power of podcasting. So you might be saying, so what is the type of person that should start a podcast? Okay. What is the exact person, the opposite of the person that I just described? So just for educational purposes, I'm going to go back and explain to you the type of person that should start a podcast. So if you're listening now and you're feeling a little disheartened, take heart. If you are a person, this is the 5 keys to a person who should start a podcast, because many of you want to start one. So what are the qualities? What are the characteristics that you need to have in order to start one? Number 1, you're a person that has passion. You're a person that is authentic. You're authentic about what it is that you do. Your story is your story. You understand the power of your story, the power of your words, and you are on a mission to make that statement heard from millions, to reach millions of households worldwide, like we do with CTR Media Network. We're blessed to be able to reach 350 million households worldwide. We're everywhere. We're on social media. We're on streaming television. We have online television. We're on Roku. We're in magazines. We also on radio. We are pretty much up under every type or every form of media, even blogs. And so we're very blessed to be able to have our partnerships with various different platforms and do all the things that we do, including having our own independent platform. So if you want to know more about starting your podcast, come on over to ctrmedianetwork.com. Number 2, this is the person that should start a podcast. If you have the great desire to make a positive impact that surpasses your lifespan. Let me say that again. If you have the desire to make a positive impact in the world and you want your positive impact to surpass your lifespan, do you realize when you start a podcast, you are not only doing a podcast, you're actually creating a personal digital imprint of your content, of your life in the realms of podcasting. Whether you are audio-based only or whether you're a combination of video and audio, you're creating a digital lasting imprint that will surpass your lifespan, that is continuous even when you're no longer here. Think about it. How many people that we see that passed away? The amazing Whitney Houston. Think about that. All of these different people. Maya Angelou, all this, right? Can't we go back and find information about them now? Watch their songs, watch their poetry, see them in movies. All of that. That's what we're doing with podcasting here at CTR Media Network. We're creating a time capsule of your history. So no one want to think about dying, but guess what? We're not perfect. So if you live long enough, you will die. But guess what? You will forever live on in the digital realm where your passion will still be able to permeate and touch the heart of millions of people by them connecting with your information even after you're no longer here. So your work will continue to work for you. Your passion of what you do will continue to be on the ears of individuals to be able to connect with whatever you do, continuously bringing that legacy to your family with financial freedom, as well as bringing up and making a positive impact for the people who are new to finding you. I've been doing this 10 years. And in the last 3 to 4 years of this, people have been finding me. People think that I just started. I'm new to this, I'm true to this. I've been doing this 10 years, being in media. 10 years, okay? And now people are just starting in the last 3 to 4 years to speak my name on a worldwide global scale. Okay? And so they go back and they can see interviews I did, past businesses, the growth, the things that I had to tweak a little bit in my business. When God told me to change the direction, and they came along with me, they able to see that my children's children and their children's children will not have to figure out how they great grandmother Tina felt about certain topics or subjects or different things like that. They won't have to look for or try to find a photo of me or a video of me. Guess what? If they don't have it, it's out in history. They'll be able to find me in magazines, books, my own podcast, TV shows, streaming on the network, streaming on other people's network, creating a lasting digital legacy. They not only will hear my name, they will hear my voice. They will understand why I do what I do. And it's not about me, it's about all of you. So why not create yours? Why you can't? Okay. We have a Facebook user said they hashtag live. Let me see which group this is in so that I can give you guys a shout out, give you a hello. We have Curtis in the building. Okay. And so if you're a person that want to be effective and you want to create a digital imprint, then guess what? You need to start a podcast. Okay. If you are a person that you understand your purpose and you are not in the business of missing opportunities, but you are in the business of welcoming opportunities with your hands spread out to receive the blessings that God has for you for what it is that he put you on this earth to do. If you are in the business of receiving opportunities, receiving blessings, and also returning that by providing this information, this content, this motivation, this inspiration, this support through what you do on your podcast, then you need to start a podcast if you are this type of person. All right. Yes, because guess what? CTR Media Network provides a platform for you to do it, and you own 100% of your content. All right. And number 5, if you are a person that want to learn how to, you don't want to limit your full potential. You want to have endless opportunities. You want to have, you know that you have so much potential to do, but people need to just see you, right? They need to hear you. You need to be a part of a platform that streams 24/7, 7 days a week, and use different forms of media to get you out there on a consistent basis. Then CTR Media Network is a place for you. That's cost effective for the everyday person doing extraordinary things. Yeah, then you need to do CTR Media Network. But if you're a person that also want to open up the possibility of having multiple streams of income, and not just depending on your job and not just depending on one thing that you do. Maybe you're an author and you just depending on sales from your book. Or maybe you have a business and you're a consultant and you're only depending on consulting or tutoring or products that you sell, but you want to have the potential to create multiple streams of income. And you see that you are here on this earth to live in abundance and not in the scarcity mindset, not in the spirit of lack, but in the spirit of abundance, then you need to start a podcast. And you need to start today. But if you are the complete opposite of the person that I just got finished describing, then you don't need to start one. Don't waste your time, don't waste your money. On that note, you guys, that is the end of this video. For those of you who are just hopping on right now, for those of you who shared a comment or two, thank you so much for engaging. Make sure to like, follow, share, and subscribe. Right now, CTR Media Network, we're currently accepting new podcasters to our thriving platform. We have audio podcasts, we have video podcasts. We stream you 24/7, 7 days a week on our online television based upon your membership package. We also have Roku TV. We also have our own magazines where we place and position our podcasters to be able to maximize their visibility, not just through their podcast, but through different forms of media to make sure that you have the visibility to continuously make a positive impact, being able to permeate different territories to impact the world with what you do, which is oh so good. On that note, you guys have a great, amazing rest of your day. Make sure to tune in to all of our podcasters and make sure to tune in on our live stream that we do every single day, 7 days a week. Make sure to tune in. And the Tina Ramsey Show and podcast will be coming your way this Thursday with season 10. And we'll be sharing with you week after week with the Flourish Black Homeschooling Conference. We're going to be sharing some things about you because many of you have been wanting to start a homeschool and all this other stuff, right? So we're going to be sharing that as well because this theme for this year is education and community. Every year we do a theme for our show. And so this year is education meets community. So we're going to bring community leaders and all this different stuff to the Tina Ramsey Show this year, as well as sharing with you ways in which you can homeschool your child or children if you have the desire to do so. And you can join our thriving community with over 22,000 parents worldwide that we provide support for you on your homeschooling journey. On that note, you guys, stop sitting on your dreams. It's time to get to work and get to moving and grooving. If you want to start a podcast today, then there is no better place to be than CTR Media Network. I will talk to you later. Have a great, amazing rest of your day. Talk to you later.
Hello, my name is Alethea Tucker, and I am the CEO of Jolie's Enterprises. I'm also the host of a show entitled Reinvent and Rise, and the host of a podcast entitled Leveling Up the Podcast with Alethea Tucker. I recently had the distinct pleasure of working with Tina Ramsey and CTR Media Network in one of her programs where she taught me how to get exposure for my podcast. She increased my visibility tremendously, and she showed me how to monetize both of my shows to make them revenue-generating products. I am so ecstatic and so happy with the service that she and her staff provided to me. She went above and beyond what I expected, and I certainly got far more than I ever dreamed I would get with her. So I highly recommend her for any of her programs. I highly recommend her as someone to go to if you are looking to increase what you do with your podcast, make it better. If you're looking to get visibility, definitely speak with her. You will not go wrong with her or anyone on her staff.